So, Caitlin Clark, one of the WNBA's biggest stars, just dropped a bomb on everyone by moving to Europe, and the reason? Well, Bill Maher didn't hold back when he explained it. He made it clear it's not about a bigger contract or a better team. Nope.
Always racism when a white person succeeds.
According to Maher, Clark was pushed out of the WNBA because she didn't fit their mold, and that was enough to make her life in the league pretty miserable. Now, instead of being celebrated, she's off to Europe. And honestly, fans are stunned. Bill Maher didn't just casually mention Caitlin Clark's move to Europe, he dropped some heavy truth bombs. According to Maher, Clark wasn't just leaving because of a better contract or new opportunities. No, this was about survival.
There's also a racial element to this. We can't.
Kind of tired of hearing
It's
about
everything. It's women are catty. The league is very lesbian, and she's not. And there's race. There's a lot of going.
He said it loud and clear. Clark didn't fit into the WNBA's club. She's white, she's straight, and that apparently made her a target. Maher went as far as to say that instead of embracing her talent, the league treated her like an outsider, like she didn't belong. And that's why she's off to Europe to find the respect she wasn't getting in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark didn't just quietly accept her fate in the WNBA. She's been vocal about her frustrations, especially when it came to how she was treated on the court. Clark said it herself, she's been hammered by physical defense, way more than others, and it seemed like the refs just let it happen.
Show the tape if we're getting body checked. This is a game the other day, and that was pretty deliberate. And look at the other girl on her team coming over. See, if this was men, they defend each other on their same team. Men will fight from two teams. But when somebody checks you on who's on your team, you defend them.
She even told reporters, "I feel like I'm getting hammered, and opponents get away with things that other people don't." So it wasn't just off-court drama that pushed her to leave. Clark was dealing with this stuff every time she played. And honestly, it was starting to wear her down.
If you want to talk about the growth of the WNBA, it's bad faith to not talk about Caitlin Clark.
From what Bill Maher revealed, the WNBA wasn't giving Caitlin Clark the recognition she deserved. Instead of shining a spotlight on her talent, they seemed more focused on other issues that didn't have much to do with basketball. Maher didn't shy away from pointing out that Clark didn't fit the narrative they wanted to push. She wasn't being celebrated for breaking records or boosting ticket sales, it was more like she was an afterthought. The league, instead of lifting her up as their rising star, seemed more concerned with their image than the game itself, and it drove her to look for opportunities elsewhere.
Angel Reese, really unlikable. And yesterday, we got another example, I think, of her on her own podcast complaining about how she can't afford an $8,000 a month rent payment. It's the epitome of first world problems. It's the epitome of first world stupidity. It's the epitome of just Angel Reese not being...
Bill Maher didn't hesitate to call out the social dynamics at play in the WNBA when it came to Caitlin Clark. He highlighted how Clark's race and sexual orientation were major factors in how she was treated. In a league where the majority of players are black and many identify as lesbian, Clark's differences made her stand out and not in a way that earned her respect. Maher pointed out that this led to isolation from other players, particularly stars like Angel Reese and Alyssa Thomas, who didn't exactly make Clark's life easier.
Here's the real problem. Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, because again, Angel Reese is undermining the league with her unlikability. The reason why people are jumping on board and everyone's is they finally found a player who's halfway likable in Caitlin Clark and who doesn't rub their wealth, privilege, and entitlement down everyone's throat and force it on like, I'm supposed to be special. You've made an outstanding point that Angel Reese is the one that is going to hurt people's pocketbooks while Caitlin Clark is filling up people's pocketbooks.
From the start, it was clear that Clark wasn't just facing pressure to perform on the court. Snide comments, cold attitudes, and even physical altercations from other players made her feel like an outsider. The infamous head slap from Angel Reese during a game in 2024 wasn't just competitive fire, it felt personal, adding to the tension between the two. What could have been a healthy rivalry between two top athletes turned into something much more complicated. Instead of focusing solely on basketball, Clark found herself in a political and social battleground. This environment made her time in the league far more challenging than it ever should have been.
That are sick of Caitlin Clark and they want to talk about the growth of the WNBA.
So, why Europe? For Caitlin Clark, this move wasn't just about getting a new contract or playing overseas for the sake of it. Bill Maher made it clear this was about finding a place where she could focus on basketball without all the extra baggage. Europe offered her what the WNBA couldn't, a chance to be appreciated for her talent alone. No politics, no social drama, just the game. Clark's decision to head to Europe was about sanity, not money. It was a fresh start, a place where she could be recognized for what she does best, play basketball.
With the WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season. But with all of the drama currently surrounding the WNBA, on top of the low-paying salaries, some of these players are questioning if
Caitlin Clark's decision to leave for Europe isn't just about her personal struggles, it's a sign of a much larger problem brewing within the WNBA. Clark was one of the most marketable, talented players to hit the league in years, yet somehow, the WNBA let her slip through their fingers. Why? The answer seems to be wrapped up in the league's growing focus on promoting certain social agendas rather than focusing on what truly matters: basketball. Instead of lifting Clark up as a key part of their future, the league was more interested in maintaining an image. They turned a blind eye to her frustrations, from the lack of calls she received on the court to the social pressures she faced off it. You must also remember that teams in Europe are ready to pay top dollar for the most talented ladies in the world. Diana Taurasi famously made $1 million for playing a single season in Russia a couple of years ago. So Caitlin is about to make a lot of money in Europe if she leaves WNBA behind for good.
the commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in the WNBA through marketing this and that. I don't know what Kathy was talking about, because even the highest paid player in the WNBA currently makes a little over $200,000 in salary, and then I don't know what the WNBA does with their marketing dollars, but it's definitely not going to equate to $700,000.
Caitlin Clark's move to Europe isn't just about switching teams, it's about finding a place where her talent is valued without the drama. The WNBA, by not embracing one of its biggest stars, may have lost more than just a player. They might be losing their grip on what the league should be about basketball. As Clark starts fresh overseas, the league is left to face the fallout of their actions. What do you think? Will the WNBA learn from this, or is this the beginning of more stars heading out? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for updates.